On March 6, 2025, SpaceX attempted to launch its Starship spacecraft on its 8th test flight. Hopes were high for this ambitious mission, intended to push the boundaries of space exploration. However, the flight ended in a dramatic explosion, marking the second consecutive failure for the Starship program this year. The Starship program represents SpaceX's ambition to develop a fully reusable spacecraft capable of carrying both crew and cargo to Earth's orbit, the Moon, Mars, and beyond. The explosion, visible from as far away as Florida and the Caribbean, served as a stark reminder of the volatile nature of rocket science. While SpaceX had implemented upgrades following a similar incident during Starship's 7th test flight in January, this latest failure underscores the unpredictable nature of experimental spaceflight. As investigations into the cause of the explosion get underway, the world awaits SpaceX's response. The findings will be crucial in informing the future development of the Starship program and determining whether Musk's ambitious goals for space exploration can be realized. The launch, initially scheduled for earlier in the week, was delayed due to technical issues. Finally, on Thursday afternoon, Starship Flight 8 lifted off from SpaceX's Starbase facility in Boca Chica, Texas. The early stages of the flight appeared promising, with the spacecraft ascending smoothly through the atmosphere. The booster separated from the spacecraft after liftoff and returned to Earth, executing a controlled landing back at the launch site. This successful booster recovery, the third for SpaceX, was met with cheers from the ground crew. However, less than 10 minutes into the flight, disaster struck. Multiple Raptor engines on the Starship spacecraft suddenly cut out, causing the vehicle to lose altitude and tumble out of control. Communication with ground control was lost, and shortly afterwards, the spacecraft exploded in a fiery spectacle visible for miles around. The immediate aftermath of the Starship Flight 8 explosion was one of controlled chaos. SpaceX's emergency response teams sprang into action, working to secure the debris field and assess the environmental impact. Fortunately, the explosion occurred over the Gulf of Mexico, minimizing the risk to populated areas. The Federal Aviation Administration immediately grounded the Starship program pending a thorough investigation. The FAA's investigation will involve a detailed analysis of telemetry data, recovered debris, and interviews with SpaceX personnel. SpaceX, in a statement released shortly after the explosion, acknowledged the incident and pledged full cooperation with the FAA investigation. The company's preliminary assessment pointed to an energetic event in the aft portion of the Starship spacecraft, leading to the loss of multiple Raptor engines and subsequent loss of control. The Flight 8 explosion is particularly disheartening, coming just weeks after the previous Starship test flight, Flight 7, met a similar fate in January 2025. That incident saw the Starship spacecraft explode shortly after liftoff, scattering debris over a wide area. Following Flight 7, the FAA launched a comprehensive investigation, which is still ongoing. Preliminary findings suggested that a combination of factors, including a malfunctioning engine and issues with the spacecraft's propellant system, contributed to the failure. In response to the Flight 7 mishap, SpaceX implemented a number of upgrades and modifications to the Starship design. The Flight 8 launch was seen as a test of these modifications and a crucial step towards proving the viability of the Starship program. However, the recurrence of a similar failure suggests that there may be underlying systemic issues that have yet to be fully understood or addressed. The Starship Flight 8 explosion marks a significant setback for SpaceX and the broader space industry. It raises important questions about the safety and oversight of experimental rocket launches, particularly those conducted in close proximity to populated areas. As the space industry continues to grow at an unprecedented pace, striking a balance between innovation and safety will be paramount. The FAA's investigation into the incident will play a crucial role in determining the future of the Starship program. If systemic safety issues are identified, the FAA could impose stricter regulations or even ground the Starship program indefinitely. Despite the setback, SpaceX remains committed to its vision of making humanity a multiplanetary species. The company has a long history of overcoming adversity and emerging stronger from failures. The lessons learned from the Flight 8 incident will undoubtedly be incorporated into future iterations of the Starship design, making it a safer and more reliable spacecraft.